Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
Bob, there's so much to talk about, but we've got to narrow it down for this edition of the Camper Report Show. But I'm going to kind of summarize it because I had a great conversation with Ben Quiggle, the editor of Woodall's Campground magazine, and he is telling us everything there is to know about glamping and its future within the industry. How about you?
Fantastic. I've got Walt Burns from EasyCare. We're going to talk about the importance of aftercare products for consumers.
So now you've got your RV, you're going to go camping. You're going to find all about it, plus the headlines of the day right here. Where, Bob?
On the Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everybody.
Sleeping on the short RV queen topper is as comfortable as sleeping at home. Now that we have the topper on there, it's made all the difference. It's really comfortable.
And the comfort comes from the fact that it's not too firm, nor is it too soft. It's kind of the right level of comfort for being out, especially when you're away from home.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the news segment here on the Camper Report Show. My name is John DePietro, along with Bob Zagami. And Bob, you know what? There was big news made in the RV industry this year when Tiffin Motorhomes was acquired by Thor. And a lot of people thought that, well, the family touch is going to be missing with the big acquisition, but it's anything but the case, right? And now one of the Tiffin grandsons is being named president. Talk about this.
That's right. Lee Tiffin was promoted to be president. He's a little bit on the younger side of the Tiffin clan. You know, Bob was getting close to 80 after the acquisition. Tim and Van were not too far away from retirement, and they decided to put Lee in there. And Lee has doing a fantastic job. He's got a great vision for the company in terms of retaining the values and the quality that has come out of Red Bay, Alabama for all these years. And I think it's going to be an exciting time for Tiffin, because I don't think you're going to realize consumers will not see many changes because they're now under the Thor umbrella, which is the Thor practice. They continue to make these operating divisions individuals unto themselves. And we'll see the same thing at Red Bay. And I can tell you, you know, when I first started writing in this industry, I had the pleasure of being told to go to Red Bay, Alabama and do a interview with Bob Tiffin. And I was still wet behind the ears. And I got there and I thought, I walked up to the front door of the house right in the factory area. And I said, this interview is probably only going to last about 10 minutes, because there was a big sign on the front of the door that said, no swearing allowed in the building. And somehow I managed to get through the whole interview without swearing, but I had a great time with Bob and the family. And the two takeaways that I had from that were, Bob Tiffin, even though you're doing an interview with him, would interrupt every time a customer call came in. And I'd ask him, I'd say, Bob, do you want me to leave the building and I'll go outside and wait? And he said, no, just sit there. And he would take every customer call. And it took all morning to do the interview, but that was the way Tiffin ran his business. And Lee has learned from the very best.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. He referred to them, and Lee made the announcement in their customer magazine called Roughing It Smoothly. And right. He referred to the days growing up with Papa Bob, where, you know, they would drive around the farm with old restored cars, et cetera, but really great stories about a grandfather-grandson relationship. And it's interesting to see the grandson picking up the reins and trying to keep that family atmosphere at Tiffin, even though it is, again, a multi-billion dollar, $1 million business.
Well, you know, it was a great trip down in Red Bay, because I was really getting my feet wet in the RV industry. And there was a bright yellow Shell gas pump outside of his office, right in the building. And I needed to take some pictures for the article I was writing for the original RV News at the time. So I said, Bob, can I take a family picture? And I took a picture of Bob sitting in the chair, and Van and Lee and Tim around there. And we used that on the cover of the magazine. But then I got a nice note from Bob asking me if he could buy if you could buy the
Buy the
photograph,
picture. Oh, that's too funny.
Oh, I'm going to send you those are those are analog days. That was a film negative, and I said you can have the negative and you can do whatever you want. But that was one of Bob's favorite pictures with the family. But it was always about the family. Whenever you went to Red Bay, and if you talk to any consumer, any customer of a Tiffin motorhome, they will tell you it's all about the Tiffin family. So I'm really excited for Lee to be taking the reins of the company.
Actually, when you went to the town of Red Bay, anybody that you asked always spoke well of the Tiffins because they kind of dominated certainly the major employer in town. So, with that being said, the interesting thing is people are still buying Tiffin products. And once they buy them, they have to put fuel in them to drive around America. Now, one of the big topics on everybody's mind these days is skyrocketing fuel prices. But industry studies show even when fuel prices rise, RVers still hit the road. Talk about that a little bit.
I can give you the firsthand report on that because I've been driving to Florida this week, and we have paid anywhere from $3.60 a gallon to we're in Florida right now. It's down to $3.20 a gallon, but up around Pennsylvania and Connecticut, New York, they were up around $3.60 a gallon. And what was interesting was the number of RVs on the road. And you think about it, the number that were going north. I can understand the ones that were coming south with me and filling up the highways.
Based on the time of the year.
Yeah. The other lanes on 95 North, there was a lot of RVs and there were a lot of motorhomes, not just campers. Big motorhomes that have big gas tanks, 100, 200 gallons. They're filling them up, and it's not stopping them. I don't think it's going to slow them down. We've always said in the RV industry that if gas prices got to $5 a gallon, instead of going 100 miles on vacation, they'd go 50, but they are not going to stop using their RVs. They're not going to stop going camping, not going to stop RVing.
Great. So that's our news segment. We've got two great stories coming up. Stay with us, everybody, because this is what?
The Camper Report Show.
We'll be right back.
I'm Jesse from Outsiders Calling, and I love adventurous family travel with my wife Jenny and our son Tucker.
For over 3 years, we've RV'd across the U.S. and Mexico, and it's tough to find places that meet all our needs.
Now we plan our trips with the RV Trip Wizard, pull it up in the RV Life app, select it, and go.
It helps us discover amazing new places to grow together as a family.
RV Trip Wizard with the RV Life app is an awesome trip planning combination.
You can get both for one low annual price. Check out RVLife.com to learn more.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Camper Report Show. Glad to have you today. And my guest today is Walt Burns, RV brand manager for EasyCare and performance ratings manager. Walt, welcome to the Camper Report Show. Glad you could take a couple of minutes today to have a conversation with us.
Really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks a lot.
Some people may not know EasyCare, and this is a consumer show, and you do work a lot through dealers, but you've got products that consumers should know about. But before you do that, tell them a little bit about the history of EasyCare, because this is not some young startup that just started a couple of years ago trying to make their waves in the RV and the automobile industry. So give us a little bit of background.
Well, thank you, Bob. And yes, we've been in business since 1984. So we just had our 37-year anniversary in September. And we've really had some significant milestones throughout those 37 years, working with some manufacturers, actually even in the late 90s, getting bought by Ford Motor Company. And then we have since subsequently bought the company back. But we've been very passionate about working with really just a little bit over 2,000 dealers throughout the United States, and working intimately with them so we can ensure that every customer that purchases a vehicle, whether it be an automobile or a recreational vehicle, is really educated on understanding what benefits they're entitled to, specifically like an extended service contract. And we've been fortunate here just in the last probably 10 years to really start getting to know a group of recreational vehicle dealers much better. And we've been working with recreational vehicle dealers since the late 90s as well. But these last 10 years or so have really allowed us to sharpen our pencil and our focus on ensuring our recreational vehicle dealers really provide some great benefits and services to their customers.
Explain some of the, sometimes people think, well, I've made the sale and then they're going to take me into the back room and they're going to load me up with stuff that I don't want or financial stuff. Explain the importance of the F&I department. This is one of the most serious departments, even one could argue, even more so than the sale itself, because the protection of the RV has to be tantamount to these people who are spending that kind of money. Explain your philosophies about that.
Yes, sir. And Bob, I couldn't agree more on, of course, the customer's buying experience is critical, that ensure that they're working with the salesperson that they're comfortable with, they trust, and they find the recreational vehicle is perfect for their fit of their travel needs. But when they do meet the business manager or finance manager, that person's got a really very serious responsibility amongst perfecting the title work, getting the financing involved, but also educating the customers of the benefits that they're available to purchase to protect their recreational vehicle, and really even more than that, protect their budget. So that responsibility really correlates with the fact that they also are responsible for educating the customer on the factory warranty that comes along with their vehicle. So it's just a nice casual conversation on, here's folks what you get with your factory warranty with the recreational vehicle. And when with a lot of our finance managers really start talking about what the customer gets, and they might actually get more than what they think they're going to get, it quickly evolves into a conversation of, well, gosh, I really want to keep my recreational vehicle more than 1 or 2 years. And I have, quite a bit of exposure there. So it's a natural fit to then have some solutions on protecting their vehicle and their budget, again, with an extended service contract and other benefits.
One of the things that you do is on pre-owned vehicles, you allow the dealers to write service contracts and preventive maintenance contracts on that. Explain why that's important to your line of business.
Yes, sir. And really, Bob, we've gotten a lot of traction here in the last couple of years. I know a lot of our dealers and dealers in general in their service departments are pretty crazy busy because of this explosion of sales that's taken place in the last couple of years. But being able, and our dealers have really focused on driving customer retention and customer satisfaction. And our prepaid maintenance plan allows our dealers to really customize a maintenance package at a discounted value-added benefit to the customers, so they can actually purchase and lock in essentially the cost of maintenance today and have those services available for up to 2, 3, even 5 years. So it's very important that the vehicles get maintained, not only to keep the factory warranty valid, but then our extended service contracts also just work to ask the customers to maintain their vehicles, again, in accordance with the manufacturer's maintenance schedule. And that's just a nice solution to keep customers coming back to the dealership at a discounted price so their vehicle stays in great shape.
That's a very interesting concept. What other products, and you have a consumer website that people can go to, because you've got such a name out there now. Ideally, you have the dealers selling your products, but you also want customers going in and saying, I want this particular EasyCare product, or when I buy this particular RV, do you have this type of EasyCare coverage? Like you've got interior and exterior protection, which certainly enhances the value when the person goes to sell that unit or trade it in. Talk about that particular product.
So, and really, Bob, the extended service contract business, a lot of us, I'm no different than anyone else, has gotten these robocalls from these fly-by-night providers that are really put a very bad light and taste in customers' mouths as far as the credibility of an extended service contract, the credibility of the products and services that the dealers actually offer customers. And we have taken the highest road possible. We take our customers' ownership experience very seriously, our A+ Better Business Bureau rating, doing the things that are always right at the end of the day for our customers, our dealers' customers, who are traveling anywhere in the United States or Canada. But the appearance program has gotten a lot of traction here, and that's that interior protection, because there's a lot of folks that are investing a lot of money in these recreational vehicles nowadays. They're the toy haulers or the beautiful motorhomes, super class Cs I've seen recently. And they're with friends, they're with family, they're with pets. And so maintaining the quality of the interior of the vehicle and protecting the exterior of their vehicle also from the elements is really becoming more important, and it keeps the vehicle in the highest value as possible. So that exterior program, we call it our EasyCare appearance program, has really gotten a lot of value. And at the end of the day, the customers are leaving with a warranty that in our instance has up to $10,000 of basically claims or limited liability that's available for them, that they've literally got a warranty in their hand that says, I've got this benefit for my vehicle. So that's where we really try to emphasize.
And some of those are transferable if people sell the rig?
That's exactly right. Our extended service contract's transferable. The EasyCare appearance warranty is transferable. That's exactly right. And really, that's been a big selling point for customers to sell their vehicle to a private individual, that yes, those benefits are transferable. There's just a small transfer fee, and it helps them, sell their vehicle for more money. Absolutely.
What about, you mentioned it also, that the number of RVs that we're selling now, we're up over 500,000 new RVs a year. This has put tremendous pressure on dealers to prepare them the right way when customers pick them up for their pre-delivery inspection and their walkthroughs. They're handling more in a day than they would like to, perhaps. Have you seen any trends that would make you look at adding some different or some new products or enhancing the products that you have based on all these new first-time buyers that are coming? We're estimating 50% of that 500,000 are first-time RVers that have never owned a trailer or a motorhome.
Well, yeah, and we will be. Our dealers have experienced almost exactly that ratio of 50% of new first-time buyers, and how critical it is for our dealers and really our industry in general to make sure that those first-time buyers have a great experience and they stay committed to traveling and enjoying it with our recreational vehicles throughout the country. And we've seen that our concierge services, of course, are also valuable, included with our vehicle service contract, but our technical assistance hotline, which is just an 800 number for our customers and first-time buyers to call, like, geez, I can't remember exactly how to turn this on or slide that out or put these leveling jacks down. We've got just amazing more traction and activity on our concierge services, in our technical assistance hotline, and even our mobile mechanic benefits. So those three, I call them ancillary benefits, included in with our mechanical coverage. We've gotten a lot of activity for first-time buyers, and we're looking at beefing up those benefits for our customers.
Well, and that's a big plus for the dealer also, because they are so stretched. We all know we don't have enough technicians, and everybody, because of the volume of work, you can't double your staff because it's difficult to get employees. But having that kind of backup with that kind of service, then their customers are going to get better service while they're on the road. And if they are away from the dealership, your linkage to many of the mobile and independent technicians becomes really critical to respond to them, in many cases much quicker than the dealer could. So the dealer's ability to provide that kind of coverage and explain it in the F&I office, that's why I say that particular office becomes so critical, especially for the new buyers, because the new buyers are buying on impulse, they're buying on emotion, they're doing it because they don't want to go to a hotel or a cruise ship. They've seen everybody else out there with an RV. They want an RV, and they don't know what our industry is all about. It's not their fault. They've never purchased something.
Great.
And we cannot give them enough education, but you certainly have their backs covered with many of the products that you've got.
Yeah, Bob, you're right. The mobile technician, and I speak to them throughout the country. These are great folks that are going to campsites, going to campgrounds. Our customers are parked somewhere, maybe even full-time recreational vehicle owners, full-timers, and to be able to pick up the phone and call someone to come out and diagnose what's going on, their air conditioning, whatever it might be, and to be able to call us and be able to adjudicate that claim, and we reimburse them like it was a retail transaction. So we've worked very closely with mobile technicians here in the last several years to ensure ultimately that our customers have the best ownership experience. And it has been a great solution because our dealers can't be open 24/7.
Yep, that's right. Our guest today has been Walt Burns, RV brand manager for EasyCare. And we're going to put all the contact information down below and show a few clips of some of your products and stuff. I want to thank you very much for joining us today, Walt. It's always a pleasure to grab you for 10 or 15 minutes to talk about this wonderful industry. Any closing comments for our fans right now?
No, Bob, I just want to thank you for all you do. I think next year's going to be another exciting year. So thanks very much for the opportunity.
All right, sir. We'll catch you up to down the road.
Take care.
Thank you.
Mike here from RV Blogger. Don't waste hundreds of dollars on an external GPS for your RV. All you need to do is download the RV Life app right onto your phone. This app is so cool. It has RV GPS built right into it. So you can load all the specific measurements and weights for your RV. It'll give you directions safe for your RV to follow. And by the way, if you have RV Trip Wizard, directions for your trips upload into this GPS automatically.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Camp Report Show. My name is John DePietro, and one of the benefits that we have to find out all the late-breaking and most accurate news about RVing and camping is our official, not just semi-official or casual, but our official relationship with Woodall's Campground magazine. And joining me today is the editor-in-chief, chief bottle washer, and head chef, cook, head bottle washer. No, the big guy at Woodall's. Welcome back, Ben Quiggle. It's been quite a summer, huh, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been super busy. I'm waiting for my first $1 million check to start pouring in for this partnership we have.
Oh,
when are we going to start making the big bucks?
Yeah, that referral thing that we had mentioned, something like that. Yeah, they told me the same thing. By the way, I'm still waiting for mine. So as soon as I get mine, I'll cut you a check out of mine. But you know what? The interesting thing is the campgrounds are making money. The RV industry is making money. When you look at some of those figures for what projected this winter in Florida. I know KOA, and we're going to talk specifically about that KOA report, but I had read that KOA's bookings are up 140% in Florida. And Ben, you've been around this media business a long time. Anytime you say 140% increase, you're talking big changes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy. And I think the report the Campgrounds of America came out with today noted 31% of active camping households plan to do some sort of snowbirding this winter, which I don't know what we're going to call it because there's a lot of millennial families that are snowbirding, I guess. And I don't know do we still call them snowbirds? Or
I think
come up with another term?
The snow, the bird population hasn't resisted yet, and the snow people haven't resisted yet. But you just threw that figure up, the 31%. That translates into 12 million families. That's a lot of people hitting the road. Yeah,
I mean, I think park owners, I think the industry, normally, you have a slowdown a little bit. At least in some parts. I mean, the snowbird parks were always popular, and the southern campgrounds always stay really busy. But it's just not, the busyness isn't letting up, the flood of people. And we've had talks with people about what are we going to do with all these Canadians now? November 8th they can start coming down, and hopefully they already have reservations, because if they are getting on right now to get reservations, a lot of these parks are telling me that they just don't have any room. So,
well, you bring up a very excellent point, because my colleague Bob Zagami and I, right here on the Camp Report Show, did a segment just a few weeks ago about those vast increases in bookings, future bookings for this winter in Florida, Texas, and Arizona. And those numbers didn't take into account the Canadians. And now that, because the date of November 8th hadn't been announced yet. So now that the Canadians will be able to come down, the big issue is, where are they going to go?
Yeah. And I mean, not only that, but we're also hearing the snowbirds are heading down earlier. So I think KOA mentioned, 24% are planning to head south before Thanksgiving. I know that's crazy. That's almost 20, that's almost a quarter of the snowbirds. And that's pretty crazy, because typically snowbirds will wait for the holidays, or they'll wait until closer to Christmas because they want to spend it with family. But I guess, either these snowbirds are going with family, or they're just like, we're done. We want to get south. They've been waiting, some of these people have been waiting for 2 years. So they're eager.
They
So,
could be the new generation of snowbird. And, we use that term snowbird and there's really no set definition of it. However, with all the new RVers in the past few years, since RVing just started going crazy, even prior to COVID, you can see people wanting to live year round and work year round. And with COVID now, we're coming up on 2 years on COVID in just a few months.
yeah.
You've got full timers that have sold the house and have to head south because they can't stay, north of Virginia. So the interesting thing is, many times my family and I would go to either Florida or Myrtle Beach during the week between Christmas and New Year's. Okay, we can still say Christmas and New Year's, right, without offending anyone.
I think so.
A holiday in December.
Yeah.
But we would see Interstate 95 jammed with southbound RVs. And these were the people, like you just mentioned, that would stay home until the day after Christmas and then hit the road. But this year it's going to be a little bit different. And a lot of people are taking kids with them too.
Yeah, and I think the other nugget in what we keep mentioning KUA, the other nugget in this report that they just released is that besides those snowbird campers, there's 6.9 million other households that want to take at least one winter trip. So not only do you have the huge snowbird numbers, but then you have 6.9 million on top of that are just going to do at least one trip. Maybe they got they bought their RV and they don't want to put it away all winter. They want to get it out and at least go somewhere this winter, and that's pretty awesome too. I think there's just so much excitement around RVing that they just can't wait for next spring. They just want to go somewhere.
Again, with the new RVers, and maybe the people that had their camping season, if you will, curtailed in 2020, are saying, you know what? Who knows what's going to happen in the future with the price of fuel and everything else, which is another topic I want to talk about in just a minute. But they're saying you got to do it now because we don't really, tomorrow is a promissory note. And today's the only day we have.
Yeah, and I think maybe they couldn't get the sites that they wanted during the summer. Maybe they're looking at it as another way to get out and maybe go see some of the places they couldn't during the summer because it's just been so busy, and the parks have been so packed. They're hoping that maybe the winter alleviates that, although I don't know if it will.
Right.
So.
We alluded to it just a second ago, and there's two quick topics I want to touch on during this session. Just as I was driving home today, I noticed the price of diesel. It's at $3.59 in Massachusetts. It's about $1.30 more than it was a year or so ago. Yeah. Now, forget the politics, but past years have shown when the prices have gone up, that really hasn't stopped RVers. They're going to go no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, and we wrote about this in August, I believe. So we wanted to, we had seen some prices go up during the summer, and we just had to question, how could that impact RVing or camping? And so we asked some people in the industry, historically who have been in this, historically, what's happened. We went all the way back to like the oil embargo. Obviously, any embargo is going to impact the industry because they just couldn't get gas. One park owner mentioned they actually set up a gas pump at their park so that people could come and feel comfortable knowing that they could fill up, that they had gas at the park so that they could make the trip and feel comfortable coming. But that was during the embargo. During the Great Recession, 15 years ago, or is that 13 years ago, we asked some people what happened then, and it just made more local traffic. So people just didn't go 1,000 miles to the Grand Canyon. Close. They just stayed local, and actually it really benefited parks because people close by realized, hey, we have this great park, and they were having great vacations. So the gas prices, unless they get extremely high, I don't think it will really hurt too many parks. Maybe the travel parks that are closer to the highway, might feel a little bit of impact because people may not be traveling as far.
Yep.
So.
Yep. One of the other headlines in your newsletter today, and I know from my years in the media business that one of the ways to get high usage out of a story is to create conflict in it. And your headline is electric trucks and truck campers are on a crash course or collision.
Yep.
Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, when you read the story, so the story just talks a little bit about the fact that the truck manufacturers are coming out with obviously some electric vehicles. But I believe if you read the story, it mentions that they're only half-ton. So when you're talking about a truck camper, which I don't have a ton of experience with, but I imagine these truck campers are pretty heavy. So you have to have the heavier trucks, I would imagine. I don't know if they make truck campers for half-ton trucks, but you know, anytime you add weight to these electric vehicles, it's gonna mess
Cut
with
down
the
on the
charge.
range.
So
Right.
that's why we've been seeing some stories about, you know, like Colorado Teardrops, where they're inventing a trailer that actually has a battery pack in it, so you can haul your camper and still charge. This battery pack will charge the truck to hopefully extend how far you can go, the range. And so, you know, the article just kind of goes into that, you know, how are these electric trucks going to, you know, manage with these campers? When are they going to come out with the heavier, you know, trucks, the full size trucks, the 3/4 and the 1 ton, and some of these bigger trucks that can handle some of these units. And I noticed in the story, they had done a study, and there was 60, I think it was over 60% of this group's readership said that they weren't interested in buying electric trucks right now.
Well,
So
you know,
that was kind of interesting.
that is so interesting because I just happened to camp this past weekend right next door to a dealership that only sold truck campers. And as I looked across from where I was parked, there were a couple campers there, truck campers, Ben, with three slides, and some of them have the bed extension that goes all the way from the bed of the truck to almost the headlights, you know, over the hood.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, when you look at pictures inside, you don't know it's a truck camper. So that's going to really be interesting when you pull along on the roadside rest areas and see the truck campers the electric trucks plugged into the charging stations.
Yep.
And you can go to sleep. You can go to sleep while it takes an hour to charge. And the last thing I want to talk about briefly was, and maybe we should do a special segment on this, glamping is just getting bigger and broader and reaching more and more people and bringing more people into the RV field.
Yeah, it's just, we were at the Glamping Show USA a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, there was so much energy, and it's just how much money is being poured into the glamping sector right now. There's a ton of investors, and it's really caught the eye of the camping community, and people want unique experiences. And you know, what does glamping mean? I mean, it's a really tough definition. It means something different to everyone, but you know, it's just mainly about the experiences and giving people something unique they can do, and giving them services and amenities that maybe you just wouldn't find at a traditional campground, or if you know have a glamping unit at a traditional campground, offering those services that maybe you wouldn't at a normal RV site. So
something for everyone, something new all the time, and you know, just great news for the industry. And I want to thank you so much for taking time from your busy day to be with us here and let us know all about the snowbirds, glamping, electric trucks, and a few other things that we'll talk about in future. And folks, you can read all about and find out all about the inside aspects of the RV industry, the camping side of the RV industry, with Woodall's Campground magazine, and you can subscribe to it. And the daily edition, right, Ben, is there's no cost, which it's an email edition.
It's all free. Yeah. I mean, print, subscription, everything. It's free. It's all advertiser supported. So we want to thank you so much. And we'll see you again in a real short period of time during the winter. We'll find out about those snowbirds if they actually went down south. Yeah, we'll find out. Hopefully it's not too snowy for them.